mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. All right, legacy builders, welcome back to another show. I'm so excited to be back with you with another amazing guest and conversation. And let's talk investing today. I have the amazing honor to have Randy Holland, a very successful entrepreneur in the real estate field, to join our show today. So, Randy, thanks so much for coming on and looking forward
Thank
to
you, Elona.
know you better.
Appreciate it.
It is such a pleasure. And I know your passion is something that I could just feel through the other side of the screen. So I said, let's record the interview because I know you have so much amazing wisdom to share with us. So, Randy, let's start with an introduction. Can you share a few of the most meaningful moments that led you to the work that you're doing today?
Sure. So I have been a commercial real estate broker for longer than most, if not all, of your investors, your listeners have been alive. I initially got trained by a firm called Marcus and Millichap in Southern California in 1987. So that should give you some indication of how old I am, sadly. But at any rate, as a commercial real estate broker, we focus primarily on multifamily assets, apartment communities. It'd be anywhere from 10 units to 1,000 unit big communities. What I didn't understand was how these guys were coming to the table with a whole bunch of money, a lot of investors in their pocket, and the ability to close on a large property, operating more or less by themselves, but with the money that's been handed to them by other investors. And it took me a long time to figure it out as a broker. Number one, as a broker, you're kind of chasing your own needs, and you don't have a lot of time to redeploy your efforts into education, sadly, especially when you're young. And yet, eventually, in 2018, I actually started operating as a syndicator. Syndicator is a fancy word for a guy who develops relationships with other passive investors. They're generally high net worth people, professionals, doctors, engineers, anybody that might have a small business already that's accumulated some earnings. And then we actually offer them the opportunity to just write us a check and participate with other investors. And we pool the money together and we buy large communities. We currently own properties in Tennessee and Texas and Alabama and Georgia. They're all apartment communities where we'll own them for 3 to 5 years. You've no doubt seen it of late, if your listeners are keen to and cued into what's going on. There's been a lot of talk about real estate syndicators, some of whom didn't do so well. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal where a Houston operator got in trouble with 5 assets that he bought altogether, and of course rates have risen, and if you don't do it correctly, you're going to get yourself caught in a crack. And so I want to be the first to sort of report that, gosh, given the number of transactions that go down from city to city to city, the fact that we've only heard about 1 or 2 in Houston or in LA is an indicator to you that it's such a great business. Yes, there are poor actors out there, not necessarily bad actors, which there's those too. I'm really simply talking about the poor ones, the guys that aren't perhaps as well experienced in the process of doing this. The truth is that from 2014 to just last year, maybe 2021, it was easy to be in the apartment business because rates were rising, were staying low, and values were rising very quickly. But what happened in 2021 is the tide kind of went back out, and as I think it's the guys at Berkshire Hathaway say, "Hey, look, when the tide goes out, we can all see who's swimming naked." And that's what happened. I mean, people were left, and now they're exposed for not having the tools to do it well. So
Yeah,
anyway,
Randy. I mean, yeah, I so agree, and I even feel that these times, you test the real, I guess, the real entrepreneurs or the real investors on how well we actually play out all this uncertainty that's actually happening. So, Randy, for my audience, we have a lot of successful entrepreneurs, CEOs that obviously have used the channel of entrepreneurship to build an asset, which is their company. So they might absolutely be looking into other avenues to
sure.
invest. So based on your experience, as you shared many decades with this area that you have been focusing on, where if someone wants to get in, how is it that they can start? What are some of those steps?
Yeah, so it's very simply, you go to randyholland.com and you learn about the category in general as an investor. Um, our firm, Urban Equities, uh, runs all these assets as an asset manager. And we put a lot of educational components on the website. And you can, again, you can reach it either at randyholland.com or at urbanequities.net. So there are SEC guidelines that we have to comply with. I mean, there's all kinds of aspects to this that make it opaque, which what took me so long to figure it out as a young guy interested in becoming a syndicator. But the truth is we underwrite our projects and we buy them only when we're convinced that we can deliver a 70% equity multiple to our investors. And what I mean by that is if an investor puts in $100, we expect him to get $170 out, and that might take 3 to 5 years. Now, that's our when I do that, a 1.7 or a 70% equity multiple, I have every intention and really, frankly, every belief that they're going to double their money. But in the context of being conservative, we basically say, look, we're going to get you a 70% equity multiple. Obviously, it's not a promise, but it's absolutely the truth that we've been able to achieve so far. We've done property projects and still own in Texas and in Alabama and in Georgia and in Tennessee. That's sort of our area of influence. We live in the Nashville market. And so that's what we do all day long.
All right, beautiful. Sounds like on the website, which is on the screen, there's a lot of educational information for someone that
Sure is.
might need that step-by-step approach to starting. And this could be a great next opportunity in their investment portfolio. And Randy, I wanted to ask you because obviously you've been in this field for a long time. Sounds like in your experience speaks for itself. What are some of the things that you could share with us? What makes a successful investor? Or if someone wants to maybe focus more heavily in this phase and stage of their, business growth journey, what are some tips that you could share with them that you have learned that can, save them a lot of headache, a
Right.
lot of
No,
trial and
absolutely.
error in this journey as an investor?
So I would tell you that there's the people that I get most excited when I'm talking to folks who have some interest in becoming what I am, which is a syndicator. Basically, you can participate in this investment channel in two ways. You can be a passive investor, which means you just write a check and wait for your returns. You'll get quarterly cash flow distributions, and then you'll make money when the deal closes. That's that's a pretty fair, that's a wonderful investment vehicle, especially if you don't have time to deploy towards it in a more active way. But the folks that will do the best are those people who make their way over to my side of the ledger, because on my side of the ledger, there's a disproportionate share of earnings that are available to me because I do all the work. I find the property, we manage the property, um, we underwrite it, we find the investors, and it is a process that anybody can learn to do if they have time. So I so enjoy talking to couples where there might be a professional and the spouse is not engaged directly every day in a business and therefore can deploy their time and energy into learning this side of the business. And we love helping people get that done because it's a very, very big world out there. as you know. There's plenty to go around. We don't have to worry about some scarcity mindset. So what I would hope that you do is, again, go to the website and check it out. There's lots of learning there about how you can turn the corner in 7 years. If you're earning $200,000 a year right now, in 7 years you can be free of that job and doing this full time, and earning more than that. So my personal story is we went from a $500,000 net worth in 2018 to $6.5 million last year. And it's a lot of work without question. And it's a hard time right now. Big deal. It's part of the walk. And we'll tell our story from a historical perspective one day, and it will all be worth many, many times the investment that we did. So we still love commercial real estate in the context of multifamily. If you think about it, there's nothing that you can do to replace a roof with the digital resources, right? You can't digitize a roof. So there'll always, one thing that you always have to have, and everybody has to have. So I guess that's what I'd say.
I mean, I love that. And even today with AI and everything happening, it could just be something that, you can also do on the side. But I love that you said the reality of anything, right? There is a process. There is
Absolutely.
energy to be put into it. It's not something that you just kind of like, okay, passively earn. And those quick results that unfortunately most people are looking for. So Randy, thank you so much for everything you shared with us. We have included your website for anybody that would love to go back and check that out. I'm going
Great.
to personally go do the same thing. And if you have a final message for our audience, this would be the time to share that before
Yeah.
we close out.
Well, I would just say that commercial real estate in the multifamily space is two tracks. You can participate on either one very, very successfully. It's not the get rich quick method, but it's the get rich for sure method.
Steady steps, right? And then, if you work on the long term with that long term vision, then you rest assured you're setting those secure steps towards your investment for your other financial goals that you have for the near and the far future. So thank you so much, Randy, again. And I will see you next time with another show. You know where to find us, all our social media channels and major podcast platforms. Definitely subscribe so we can have more amazing conversations just like this one. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye now.
Company, and we care about doing more good in the world and serving our global communities. Our foundation, the Life School Mission Foundation, serves young girls and women that don't have access to technology, that don't have access to education that they need, and also are living in toxic environments, get more resources around those areas of self leadership, entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship. Please help support our foundation by donating so that we can support more amazing souls. For every client or student that comes through the Life School, we pay back the same service. We give that back to one young woman or young girl so that we can help support them in those three areas. If you'd like to make any donations, check out our website at Elona Lopari Coaching / the Life School Mission Foundation, or send us an email at lifeschoolmission@gmail.com. We appreciate your support in this very important cause.